Hi, this is Real Talk, Real Time Educators Forum, and we are excited to present the Passion Project. I'm Georgette Green-Hodnett.
And I'm Chandra Joseph-Lacet. And this program is all about educators and the passion projects that they have created to fuel their souls. We are so excited to talk to current and former educators about what they are doing to fill their tank, to inspire others, and to change the world. We are so excited tonight. Our special guest is Dr. B. Dr. B, here she comes.
All right. Hi, everyone.
Welcome,
Hi,
welcome, Dr.
Dr.
B.
B.
Thank you. Thank you for having me as your special guest tonight. I'm so excited to hang out with fellow educators.
Yes, and we are so excited to be here and feel blessed that you are going to share your story and the love of what you do with our audience. And so, to get started, we just want you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are, and your journey in education.
Okay, great. Well, my name is Bertha Williams McCants. In the, I guess, virtual, digital, online world, I'm known as Dr. B. And I adopted that because it just sounds so sassy. I like it. It sounds like Bertha kind of sounds old fashioned. So I like Dr. B. It sounds a little bit, Like I still have energy. Yeah. So that's what I'm known as. Really, guys, I grew up in the rural South. Um, you know, Nowadays, when you've grown up in poverty, we say it, we dress it up and say, I had an humble beginning. So
Mm,
So I had an humble beginning in the rural South from a single parent home, who was raised with a lot of love and so much wisdom, that I think is helped me to shape me into being the woman who I've become. I spent 30 years in K-12 education. However, that was just the beginning. That was just the beginning because now I am a working grandmom. I am an international best-selling author, a motivational speaker, the CEO and founder of a life insurance agency, the CEO and founder of a consulting company. However, I finally decided to use all of my experiences to help educators create profitable businesses. So, with that, I became a national business mentor and I founded an online business development university.
we're excited to hear all of that. I mean,
Wow.
it's already inspiring, right? But I think we'd love to hear more about your humble start in education and kind of just take us through how you got from the humble beginnings, starting out as an educator, a classroom teacher, I'm presuming, and
Mhm.
then take us through to what led you to where you are, focusing mostly on your education path.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I I always wanted to be a teacher. Like that's probably the dream of most educators. I remember my start just as a 6-year old playing teacher outside on you know, my grandparents were sharecroppers, as I said, back in the South. And so I remember just being outside all the time and playing with my cousins or whoever I could get to be my students. And sometimes it was just the pebbles or the rocks on the ground that I was teaching to. So I just always, I just knew in my gut that I was going to be a teacher. I even know that I was going to get my doctorate. I had that revelation once outside one time. I was like, okay, well, I don't even know anybody who has a doctorate, but um, long story short, I went on to get 3 degrees to become an educator, and started out as an elementary classroom teacher. My goal was always to teach kindergarten, but I never had that opportunity. But I I wanted to make change in education. I just, you know, I just wanted to be the change, or be the change for things that I wanted to see happen. So I taught for 12 years, a little over a decade, and got my master's in education administration. So I went on to become an assistant principal, a principal of an elementary school, and then I moved to the district office, and I worked in federal programs for a while, actually the coordinator of Title I projects. And my assistant superintendent became a superintendent. So while I was a Title I coordinator, I worked under her. So when she got the opportunity to leave the district, she asked me to go with her to become her assistant superintendent. So that's when I had the opportunity to serve as assistant superintendent for instruction and curriculum. And then a couple of years from then, I got the opportunity to serve as assistant superintendent for human resources, and left there, and I went to the State Department, and I had served several stints as what we had in our state was the principals. Was like a principals academy. So all the new principals in the state had to come to the State Department to, do those in-basket activities, and you put them through role play. So I served on that for several years, and then the state wanted to hire principal mentors to go into low performing schools and assist the principals. So I got an opportunity to do that for a couple of years, and came back and got an opportunity to become a school district superintendent. So I did that for about 7 years, 6 or 7 years, before leaving K-12 education. Yeah, so that's my journey. I loved it. I love working behind the scenes as a teacher. I love working on the front lines and making decisions about high quality education, not only for our students, but for our teachers and for the community at large.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a career.
Okay, we're talking teacher, we're talking assistant principal, assistant superintendent, curriculum coordinator. I mean, that is like just amazing, and I think about that long career and I think, what would make you decide that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? You always wanted to be a teacher. What made you decide?
Well, guess what? I'm still teaching.
All right. Yes.
Yes, I'm still teaching. And what made me decide, oh my God, it was such a hard decision. I tell you, when I left education, I still had 3 years on my superintendent's contract. So it was a bittersweet decision. However, I had, we use this term, work yourselves to the bone, work yourself to death.
We know that term.
Mm-hmm.
I had nearly worked myself to death.
Mm.
And so I was ill. I looked around and I had chronic fatigue. I was in a brain fog all the time, just exhausted, had some other chronic diseases, coronary disease, didn't even know that existed. I didn't even know I was going through that until a month after I retired. Actually, I believe in listening to your inner spirit. Mm-hmm. And I really got the call a year before that I was supposed to leave education. Mm-hmm. And I called in all of my assistant superintendents and I told them that, that would probably be my last year and they didn't have to leave. But, I didn't listen. I came back that next year. And so I became very, very ill. Mm. And so I had to save my own life.
That's right.
I had to make a decision to leave education as I knew it. Mm-hmm. And so that's what made me decide. And, as I talk about my passion project, What I do is I help retired educators to recreate a beautiful holistic lifestyle so that they can develop a business from one of their skills, and during that time so that they don't lose their stature, and that they don't lose relationships, and they don't become workaholics. And I really focus on that, and sometimes I veer away from it, but I want people, I my system works for everyone, but my heart is for educators. And I say retired and retirees because I really don't want to encourage people to leave education to become a consultant or coach. But I do believe that educators should be the ones who are making the differences for our educators who are struggling.
Yes.
So many times as an educator, I saw that we wanted to throw programs at education to fix education. So you had multiple consultants, coaches coming in to teach people how to work a program. Well, it's not about a program, it's a person and the relationships, and helping them to understand how to connect with the children, how to connect with the parents, how to connect with the community, and how to learn those classroom management strategies, how to learn those communication skills for all children, and to accept that we can't teach every child the same. So the ones of us who've been in the trenches, we need to reach one, teach one. So that's why I am adamant about teaching educators how to go back and come and become an educational coach and a consultant. Now, I have attracted attorneys, real estate, other people. The system works. However, my focus is on helping educators to reach back and save our students through helping teachers, the leadership, the people who are on the school board. Change happens through policy. If you want to make change, you have to make policy. We need more people who want to step up and sit in that CEO seat. It is a political seat, but it's needed. And more people who have a heart for children need to be in those seats, in every seat. The principal, the assistant principal, the teacher, the assistant teacher. I mean, we need more people who understand how education works.
So
Motivation is great, but motivation won't do it alone.
How did you know this was your life's work in terms of this passion project of yours in supporting teachers and educators?
Well, thank you for asking. When I left Georgette education, I went through some reflecting. And as I said, I had to take care of some health issues that I didn't even know were there. So during that slowing down, during that time, I had time to reconnect with that 6-year-old little girl who knew that she wanted in her gut to be a teacher. So at that time, I figured out that I didn't have to stop teaching, that I could teach from a different platform, that I didn't have to be a workaholic to teach. I could teach on my own terms, and I could still make a difference in the educational world. I reconnected with the people who were so good to me when I was coming up. The people who mentored me unofficially, because they weren't, the new teacher mentors, but the ones who just grabbed me by the hands and just helped me. The ones who my grandmother put me in their hands to say, help me. Even though she wasn't a college graduate, she had that wisdom to connect me with people. So I knew that this was my life's work, to teach others, to help others, because of that reflecting time. I decided that I was going to still teach. And then that's why we have created an online university.
It's so important that we do slow down. I just wanted to make mention of the fact that you said in your reflection, sometimes we're so busy, we don't make time to reflect. So I hope that those viewing will take note of that it's important to take time and reflect.
Absolutely.
And take time and take care of ourselves, right? I'm all about self-care. So I definitely have to say, when you mentioned that, you were walking around and you being a workaholic and you had health conditions that you didn't even know about. I think about that all the time because I'm always telling folks, listen, keep those doctor's appointments, make those doctor's appointments, get checked out, because we stay so busy that we don't take care of ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves, and we don't have to work ourselves to death to do it. And you have proven that over and over again. No doubt about that. Um, and I just think about your impact, and I would love for you to share that with us. You are focused on educators, retirees, people thinking about retiring, that sort of thing. And what has the impact been on the people that you have been able to serve and the institutions that they belong to, or other institutions and systems? What has been your impact?
Okay, the impact that I've seen from the hundreds of clients that I've worked with is that I've seen that they've been able to change their narratives, and they've been able to change the narratives of the people who they work with. They've been able to improve their school districts, improve the law firms, and through their households. There have been children who become entrepreneurs, husbands who become entrepreneurs, who started a second income on their own time from their own skills, from their own experiences. And that has been such a rewarding experience for me. I've seen them give to the charities of their choices. I've seen them travel and take vacations that they never thought that they could have afforded. And I've seen them grow. I've seen a light bulb come in to their eyes. I've seen a joy in them. And it was just like when I was a classroom teacher. I always knew that a student would get the concept by seeing that bright light in their eyes. And I see that in the adult learners. They are impacting not only their lives, they're impacting the lives of the people in their households, the people in their industries. And it's just been I would say a domino effect. I would say a domino effect, because they've come in and take massive action to not only it's not only about the money, guys, ladies, I want to say that, because we talk about holistic living. And some people say that I've gained 65% more time for me. We talk about having family meetings and the communication of really standing for yourself, not just on the job, but in the households. And most of us as educators, we've been unofficially named as the fix-it person, because many of us have those organizational skills, and we have those instructional skills. And so people come to us to help to figure out everything. So we've learned skills and, how to stand for yourself while you're still supporting others. So it's the business development and learning how to conduct yourself as a CEO, because for my passion is for people not to experience what I experienced when I was an assistant principal, teacher / assistant principal, going to the grocery store and having to choose between buying formula for my baby or buying the groceries that we needed. So of course I chose the formula and had to put things back on the shelf. Well, I was a professional. I was a teacher and an assistant principal, and not making enough income to do that. So we talk about, profitable business development. Many of the educators, they aren't making enough to support their desired lifestyles. So that's a big part of my passion project is business development, but also creating a desired lifestyle, not the lifestyle of the rich and famous. It could be just a modest lifestyle of having enough gas in your car every week, buying enough groceries. If there's a baby shower, a wedding shower, not having to worry about an extra gift. What is that going to do to your budget if something happens? But living worry-free. So that's my passion. My passion is for people not to work themselves to death, as I did, or not, or to be remain an educator, not having to choose to work at Walmart or someplace else or DoorDash and deliver food and be an educator. If you want to do a side hustle, do something else, use your skill and reach out to some other educators and make an impact on the educational world.
It sounds like you're right up my alley because you're talking about empowering our colleagues to do more for themselves. Because we tend to give so much to others, really helping to lay the foundation for what matters, and that is ourselves. And it's not a selfish thing. So I think that it's really, really very powerful. What other advice could you offer educators listening in our remaining time?
Okay. I would say, think of the one person who you love beyond measure. Write that name down, I would say. You know, I'm a recent grandmother. So my sons always tell me, well, what about us? Now all we hear about is Dalen and Maggie, you know. It's a different love for the grandbaby. So, and I kept them for 3 weeks this summer, and I never missed, you know, we never missed doing the bottles or, you know, doing whatever they needed. You know, we changed our whole life around what they needed. And then I thought about some of the things that I was doing when the parents came to get them. I said, oh my goodness, you know, I wasn't even doing that for myself. So my advice to all of the listeners would be, write the name of the person who just is your heart. You love that person beyond measure. And then write your name beside that person. And commit to doing everything that you would do for that person for yourself. If you would not skip a meal for that person, then don't skip a meal for you. As simple as that. You know, don't skip shopping. We didn't skip shopping for formula. So don't skip making excuses to shop for healthy foods. Don't skip doctor's appointments. Don't skip taking a shower or taking a long bath. Don't skip anything, getting your hair done. You know, I made sure she had all of her matching bows, her outfits, and everything, you know. So, yes, sometimes we will just dress everyone else up and just throw on whatever. Maybe y'all didn't do that, but definitely I never miss taking the boys to the barbershop and just having them in order. But there were some times when I was working so hard, I just took whatever was left. And then I would say to them that you have time. You have time to do whatever you want to do. You are the person who's in control of your time. Don't worry about what other people say, because it is fearful to start something new. What held me back from being successful in my entrepreneurial business for so long, was not making the success that I needed as fast as I could, was I was worried about what other people had to say. Well, why do you want to start something new? Your life has already been full. Why do you need to do something else? You know, why do you need this? Well, I'm going to say, period. Your life is your life. That's it. Period. Your life is your life. Period. You have time to do whatever you want to do. Don't worry about what anyone else is saying. The dream, just as the dream that God gave me as a 6-year-old to be a teacher and to be a servant leader, and I inspired change through teaching, He gave a different dream to everyone. So no one is going to understand that dream that God put inside of you. And so I would say to the ones who are listening, embrace your dream. Embrace your dream. Go for it. Take care of yourself as if you would take care of the person that you love the most in this world. Don't make yourself second to anyone, because when we leave the things that we're doing someone else will do those things without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
You know that's right.
Yep.
That is right. Or they won't do it and life will keep rolling on. You know how many times they don't replace folk and we just
That's right.
keep
Give it to
on
someone
moving. You
else.
know what we do in education.
Give it to someone else.
That's right.
Exactly, exactly. And so you have such a powerful message, Dr. B, and I think you have so much to give, not only to our community, but to the education world. And I say thank you for sharing your gifts with the world, for taking the big leap, and, forging ahead and following the dream of that little girl that you had deep inside of you. So tell us, how can people learn more about your work? How can they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
I'm going to give one way, and that is through my website. And that is CYNU. And it stands for Change Your Narrative University. CYNU dot teachable.com. Thank you for showing that. There it is right there. CYNU dot teachable.com. On the website, as you said, you can learn more about me by clicking on the About. If you want to connect with me to get an appointment with me, you can just click on one of the buttons that says schedule an appointment. If you want to see some of my free training, there's a tab that says free training. If you'd like to join me in my upcoming summit and get ready for your own business in 2022, I will have a summit on December I think it's the 4th, that Saturday. So you can register for the summit, and I won't tell you, you have to register. It's a very easy way to register. So I'd love to talk with more people to help them to develop a holistic lifestyle. It is awesome. It's amazing. You can get a balance between your personal and your professional life and enjoy it.
Say that again. Say it again, Dr. B.
You can get a balance between your personal and your professional life and enjoy it.
And that's the important thing, and enjoy it.
Mhm.
And that's really what's led Chandra and I to start the Passion Project, because we had know so many colleagues and friends who are trying to find that balance, but are at least trying to do the things that make them happy and enrich them and strengthen their lives. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
We
you for having me.
we are just excited about what we're doing here. We want to share with everyone where we can be reached. We are the hosts of Real Talk, Real Time with Chandra and Gorgette. And if you want to find us, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube and at our own individual IG locations. So it's been wonderful. We thank you, and blessings to everyone.
Absolutely. And find your passion and follow your passion. Don't give up on your dreams.
Yes. Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.